100 years ago, a prince named Gautama Buddha left his luxurious palace life in search of the answer to a deep question. Why do human beings suffer? After years of meditation and spiritual search, he attained enlightenment under the Bodhi tree in Bodh Gaya. Following his awakening, he delivered his first teaching. In the first sermon, he explained the Four Noble Truths, which describe the nature of human suffering, the cause of suffering, the end of suffering, and the path which leads to the end of suffering. These truths are not beliefs to blindly follow. Instead, Buddha presented them as realities to observe and understand through personal experience. Let us look at these four truths now. The first noble truth, the truth of suffering or dukkha. The first noble truth states life contains suffering. In Buddhism, suffering is called dukkha. However, dukkha does not only mean intense pain. It also refers to dissatisfaction, stress, uneasiness, or the feeling that something is always missing in life. There are different types of suffering which Buddha described. Physical suffering, that is illness, injury, aging, or death. Emotional suffering, which is sadness, loneliness, grief, anxiety, or disappointment. And then there is existential suffering. Even when life appears good, we still feel insecurity, the fear of losing things, and lack of lasting happiness. For example, you may get the job you wanted, but after some time, dissatisfaction returns. You may achieve success, yet the mind starts chasing the next desire. Birth, aging, and death are dukkha. Essentially, clinging to anything that changes leads to suffering. This constant dissatisfaction is what Buddha called dukkha. The first noble truth is not pessimistic. Instead, it is simply an honest observation of human life. Just like a doctor must first identify an illness before curing it, Buddha began by identifying the problem. The second noble truth, the cause of suffering. The second noble truth explains why suffering exists. According to Buddha, the root cause of suffering is craving, also known as tanha. Craving means strong desire, attachment, and wanting things to always be a certain way. There are three types of cravings that Buddha explained. Kama tanha, which is craving for pleasure. We constantly chase pleasant experiences like good food, entertainment, success, praise, and comfort. But pleasure is temporary. When it ends, dissatisfaction appears again. The second type of craving is bhavatanha, or the craving for existence. This is the desire to become successful or powerful, to become someone important, and to build a permanent identity. The ego constantly wants to strengthen itself. The third type of tanha is vibhavatanha, or the craving for non-existence. Sometimes we want the unpleasant experiences to disappear completely, like pain or difficult people, problems, or uncomfortable emotions. But life does not always follow our wishes. Because reality keeps changing, our attachments create suffering. Ignorance of the true nature of reality fuels these cravings, keeping us trapped in a cycle of dissatisfaction. Another key concept in Buddhism is impermanence, also known as anicca. Everything in life changes. Youth becomes old, success becomes failure, relationship change, and also the body changes constantly. When we try to hold on to things permanently, suffering arises. The third noble truth, the end of suffering. The third noble truth brings hope. It states that suffering can end. When craving and attachment disappear, suffering also disappears. This state of freedom is called nirvana. What exactly is then nirvana? Nirvana is not a place like heaven. It is a state of consciousness where the mind is completely free from craving, hatred, ignorance, and ego attachment. In nirvana, the mind becomes peaceful, desire loses its grip, suffering stops controlling our life. It is described as the ultimate inner freedom. Nirvana means the extinguishing of the fire of desires. Just like when a flame goes out because the fuel is gone, suffering disappears when craving is removed. This brings us to the fourth noble truth, the path to end suffering. The fourth noble truth explains how to end suffering. Buddha taught a practical method called the Eightfold Path. This path is a guide for living wisely, ethically, and mindfully. Let us look at the Eightfold Path. The Eightfold Path has 8 interconnected practices. First, right understanding, which means understanding reality clearly. This includes recognizing that suffering exists, everything is impermanent, and that attachment causes suffering. Wisdom begins with seeing life as it truly is. Second, right intention. Developing intentions based on kindness, compassion, and letting go of selfish desires. This means choosing thoughts that reduce suffering rather than increase it. Third, right speech. Speaking truthfully and kindly and always avoiding lying, gossip, harsh words, and any kind of harmful speech. Words have powerful effects on ourselves and others. Fourth, right action. Acting ethically and responsibly, which means not harming living beings, not stealing, and avoiding harmful behavior. Ethical actions create harmony in life. Fifth, right livelihood. Choosing a profession that does not harm others. Buddha discouraged jobs that involve violence, exploitation, and dishonesty. Work should contribute positively to the society. Sixth, right effort. Making continuous effort to remove negative mental states and to cultivate positive qualities. This includes developing patience, compassion, and discipline. Seventh, right mindfulness. Being fully aware of the present moment. Mindfulness involves observing thoughts, emotions, sensations, and surroundings without any judgment. This awareness helps us see reality very clearly. And the eighth one, right concentration, which means developing deep meditation. Meditation strengthens the mind and allows insight into reality. Through meditation, the mind becomes calm and stable. One of the Buddha's most important teachings is the middle way. Before enlightenment, Buddha experienced two extremes: luxury and pleasure in palace life, and extreme self-denial during spiritual practice. He discovered that neither extreme leads to enlightenment. Instead, balance is the key. The middle way encourages moderation, wisdom, and mindful living. By recognizing our attachments and practicing mindfulness, we can find a middle way to lasting peace. So why the Four Noble Truths are still relevant today? Even though thousands of years have passed, these teachings remain powerful because they address universal human struggles like stress, anxiety, dissatisfaction, and the constant desire for more. Modern life increases these problems through social comparison, consumerism, and digital distraction. The Four Noble Truths provide a timeless solution by teaching us to understand our mind, reduce attachment, cultivate awareness, and live with compassion. The final message of Buddha. The Four Noble Truths are not meant to make life feel hopeless. Instead, they show that suffering has a cause and therefore a solution. Just like a doctor identifies the disease, finds the cause, confirms the cure, and then prescribes a treatment, Buddha's teachings follow the same structure. By understanding these truths and practicing the path, a person can move towards peace, wisdom, and liberation. If you like this information, please like, share, and subscribe to help us bring more such ancient knowledge to you. Thank you.